Welcome in to season 5. All right. Setup is per usual. Trying to take a bank from multiple teams. This bank happens to be owned by 90, server 90, 4x2, but there's multiple teams on 90, and I'm sure 190 will make an appearance as well. So, the fun begins. To maintain the hospital today. How about that? That would be for a change. Always forgetting. And you'll see when I'm attacking the my tactic card, defense card, as long as I'm continuing to defend, it'll keep going up in time. So every time I'm defending, the time will keep going. So now I'm at 14 minutes. So I just need to get it up there. I want it to be around 30 or so minutes. That's the important thing. Don't want it to expire. And the strategy, not rocket science here. They're working together. So if you're wondering how the battle goes, 71 FSX here needs to be able to hold the bank against both teams. So as working together, as soon as what you'll notice is as soon as we'll take the bank, if their goal is to have the bank stay with the 4x2 team, then all AOV will need to do to help them is hit the bank when we take it over to try to get us out of the bank. Not so they can necessarily hold it, just so they can dilute the percentage or give that opportunity percentage back to 4x2. So that's all that'll happen. And that's where the double team comes in. It is just trying to overtake it, and you're trying to beat two teams. So it's not really three teams, even though you'll see the percentage at the top, three teams trying to get this bank. It's probably more likely retain the ownership of this bank to 4x2. And 190 will do what they can to help them do that. So that's where the what you're watching and what the kind of the 2-on-1 scenario will look like in this battle. There's also another team that could come into this battle that's connected onto here. There's multiple teams on 90 that are connected here. So there's another team that could come into the battle. The only problem you have is coordination when you have too many teams trying to hit the bank. So you can have 3 teams, okay. You can kind of coordinate pretty easily with one team taking it over and then you help. Or one team getting a certain percentage and then another team kind of taking over. Like either way, right? It's an easy strategy. It's not rocket science how to do it, but at the same time, when you start getting into 4 teams, the coordination starts to get a little wonky because you are trying to communicate to 100 people at the same time to make sure they're not hitting and you're getting constant friendly fire. So that's why you may not see as many. You're also seeing 171 come into play down here. No surprise. So there's kind of the 4th team, our 4th server in this. It's part of the effort against 71. So you'll see 171. This is their big, I believe, VIP 17, high 17, maybe 18. Really, the strongest person outside of outside of 71. I believe this person is the strongest in the season outside of 71. So they're just there to clear the mud. They're bothering. There's FF's another team, so that's like the 5th or 6th team going against 71 there. And then that's King, VIP 18, hanging out in the mud, trying to... And a lot of these battles for Season 5, which we'll get into our summary video, one of the things that you have when you... When you're doing these battles, it's important to be in the mud, and that's one of the disadvantages you have when you're outnumbered in this season, which you'll find if you want to go for, rewards and constantly win the battles. Owning the mud is going to be incredibly important because it's not even it's not just other people can hit people in the mud and you're less likely when you're outnumbering somebody. It's that you're closer for your marches. You're not having to use as many diamonds to speed in. You're able to just get more hits off. So that's why you'll see somebody risk it. Somebody like King who can sit here and take hits like this over and over. And 171, somebody like, Sell Account hasn't had to fight really for anything. Like, when we go over season 5, we'll show you the property. For the most part, over the last probably 2 weeks or maybe at least a week and a half, there's no property that's really over there that's owned by 71, or 171, I don't think. So he's probably got full drill grounds, is my point. He is also very quiet during the season. I believe he's trying to not play the game based on his name. If you haven't picked that up already, maybe it's a hint. Hey, welcome in, Terrace. What is my hit points? Oh, gotcha. THP is around 268, I think, for me. My mark size for my first team is around no, it's all good, man. First team is around 80 million, and then my second team is I don't know these days. After Morrison's exclusive, I don't even remember. Maybe 70 something, 71, 72. But at this point, these battles just going in with the slow roll. I'm almost at. I've used around 800. I'm gonna say around 800,000 diamonds so far this season. So starting to chill on the constant speeding in and all this. Like it's getting to be a little silly. Pretty much my reserves for the diamond. So good, Terry. You're gonna have a good time. I'll have I gotta have another update on kind of like a week 5, week 6 for you. That'll pretty much finish off the summary, and then I'll give overall view of season 5, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about it on lives. Season 5. Season 5 certainly offers, out of all the seasons that we've done since season 1, offers the most variety on gameplay. You can go from one extreme to the other. Season 1 was very similar in that. If you remember, like, those that played. I mean, season 1, you could just be ransacked and like your alliance just be. There's so many people quit on season 1. They got discouraged because everything that they owned was taken. They couldn't defend. They had all the constant team ups from other servers that were piling on multiple things, and yeah, it was just really discouraging for some folks. But I think the game itself, the knowledge, the tactics, everything got better after season 1 from a player standpoint, not even the dynamics of the game. It was more the players. You learned more that you needed to be in a alliance. You couldn't just sit there and be in a 3-person alliance and be successful in the game. Wasn't the game design. And when you have these 100 alliances on one server, if you have alliances that are 20 people and 30 people, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can do your own thing and think you're having fun, but you learn that really fast earlier in the game, that especially after season 1, because you can't defend a thing. Anybody can beat you because you don't have the people. So you're better off, and not to mention the million other reasons why you should be in a big alliance anyway, right? The rewards and the rallies and the reinforcements. It's just there's just so many reasons to be in, qualifying DS, trying to win DS and versus and all that good stuff. But you don't know that when you first start, so. And there's going to be really awesome bulleted out points to make on this season on if, how what really your ultimate goal of this season from a reward standpoint, if you're solely focused on success to you, has to be rewards. And you want, top rewards or whatever, you really need to look at that because there will be a difference between rewards, top rewards, and then how you can, the different ways that people are going to end up with those rewards. So in season 5, you could get top rewards and not fight. Like I'm telling you, you could not fight. You could, if you get a pack and come up with deals, and you could end up just sitting back and resetting everybody's property, and you barely have to fight. 100%. That's one of the ways season 5 could work, and it does. I've talked to many other servers, and a while ago they've all already worked out all their things and what's going on, who's going to get what, blah, blah, blah. You can do all that. Or you can fight. You can fight constantly for every little thing that you have, like just constant wars over and over again. I'm quite sure if you looked at FSX and FS4, the kills on the teams throughout, it's probably going to be more than the majority of people combined in this season, because it's just the constant battles. Whether it didn't matter what team it was, you're just constantly fighting. So it's been really fun this season. I think that a lot of people judge this season. I've heard a ton of people say they didn't like the season and the format, and it's crazy. They were upset about the trains and the banks, and I don't understand why. Like the trains and the banks, it's all strategy, and it gives people who are free to play opportunities to win things and do things and participate that they're often not used to being able to do. So I think it was they were all great designs. Could you explain to me later what we need to care about in season 5? Of course. Season 1 was heavy for us. All attacked us to reset, and we had yes. So, touching on that. Hey server 3, morning. 50 million power in off season 3. Is it good enough? Yes, 50 million power is fine in off season 3. But then again, I'm going to tell you, if you told me 20 million power, I would tell you that's enough power in off-season 3. Because to me, I think, people get too focused on what your power should be. And everybody gets these big eyes, you should be 120 million, or even me, like 80 million. That's not where your power nobody needs to be anywhere. My question back to you would be, do you have fun playing the game? If you have fun playing the game, then your power could be 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. It doesn't matter where your power lies. Just have fun. That should be the determination of where your power is. And if you're not having fun playing the game, then you really need to look at the fact, do you have or do you want to spend money to play this game as your source of entertainment? Because, yeah, you can spend unlimited funds trying to get your power in the game. And, it's a source of entertainment for people. And that's where the money comes into play. And if you have it, great. If you don't have it, then don't spend it. And if you don't have fun without spending money and you don't want to spend money playing this game, I wouldn't play the game. It's not the game for you. You're just going to get frustrated, and then you really like a million other ways you can spend with entertainment or apps or war apps or anything else. There's a million other ways that you can do that you can find to have fun without playing this game. Because all you're going to find is the same amount of people that sit there and bitch and moan constantly about this game, its design and how they're treated, and I hate this game, blah blah blah, and then they keep playing it. Like, well, do you hate it or what? Because you keep playing the friggin' game. So if you hate it, stop playing it. But the truth of the matter is the game's a blast, and it is what it is, and you don't have to spend money to enjoy the game. If you want to just play the game. Plus, there's the alliance factor, and there's just a million great people out there that play this game that you can talk to, that are evidenced through our lives and, through our YouTube lives, and, constantly in direct message with, and it's just a good time, man. So I would say start looking at that rather than looking at where you should be from a power perspective. Then there's the opportunity that I'd say to you, if you want to be, it depends on where you are. If you're free to play, low spender, mid spender, we can certainly help you maximize wherever you are. So I would say that would be the answer that I give you, Howie. Depending on where you're a spender, as far as working on things and upgrading, you can certainly always improve what you're doing, no matter which bucket you fall into. Every time you were knocked out of the back, your squads appear to return. It's correct. No, so it's actually a skill from defending. I think it might have expired. I was too busy talking, not paying attention. Oh no, it's there. So 17 minutes are left. So it's actually a battle card, a core card, and a battle card. It's one of the core cards allows you to use a skill that gives you 10 minutes of defense. It ups your defense, and it allows your squads to return automatically into your base. It's incredibly important for defending in this season. You'll see right there, my number one squad defended and then just returned. Then there is a battle card that allows you to extend that 10-minute timer. So the core card only gives you 10, but when you use it in combination with one of the battle cards, it allows you to every single successful defense that you make yourself in the bank or anything you're holding will extend that 10 minutes by a certain amount of time. I think it starts at 10 seconds and then it upgrades from there as you raise the levels. And so you don't have to defend. It can go up to you can make the card up to an hour of defense. So right now I am at 19 minutes, but you see we've been fighting for 25. So I've constantly been using that card and made a 10-minute card a 45-minute card by continuously using it. So as long as I'm defending in here, it's raising the time on that defend card, and it's automatically spitting back in my number one team or whatever team is defending. Incredibly important. It saves you the time on the ride there and the ride and not having to ride back. As you can see right now, you see it just disappeared and went right back in. So now I can send it again. It's really useful for everybody in the game. It's really essential if you're defending, like especially when you look at it from anybody too, not just like the strongest people that are in the game. It's important because think about it from a free to play low spender. You're trying to send your number one team in there. Your number two team probably isn't very strong. There's probably a bigger difference when you're sending your number two from your number one. So you want to get as many number one hits in there as possible, no matter who you are playing the game, whatever spend level you are, right? So if you want to get as many as you need in there, then what this card is doing is it's returning your number one team each time you're defending. Therefore, you don't have to send your number two team, which is a real big deal if you are a free-to-play and low spender, because you're getting the stronger team that you're putting in there. You're getting less troops that are getting killed. You're getting less troops that you need to heal. You're using less resources. You're having less troops die because your team is stronger. So the more you can send your number one squad, the better you are in here. And so I would say it's at all pay levels, it's beneficial to use. Oh. Unfortunately, if you attack, it doesn't work that way. If you attack and lose, then it's gonna be a slow ride back. But if you're defending, it works in everything. By the way, it also works in if somebody's reinforcing your base constantly, the same thing will happen. So it's reinforcing a building, it's reinforcing a base. And you can see right here in the top left, right now my march is reinforcing. You'll see that disappear once I starting to get hit now. And I'm back. So now I can send. Let's see. Who is stronger, level 30 EW, Adam or McGregor for your team? McGregor is really an anchor for missile. So I would go McGregor. Like the fights are ridiculous if you actually watch. And often people don't take the time to watch the videos of the fights happening to see what's occurring, and we do that a lot on live on purpose to kind of get your attention to the video. Watch what's occurring. Watch when these effects take place. You're looking at a lot of people just look at the battle reports and say somebody got more. You could say somebody did more damage than the other, but did they die? The biggest hidden thing that's driving me nuts oftentimes is the stunts, right? I know the game is doing a great job with adding stuff to our battle reports. We just got updates that they're adding Stetman stuff to battle reports. They were adding the number of disruptions that Schuler's doing. Love that stuff. Like, that is such a game changer for these battle reports to tell us when that is. Fiona's debuffing. Like, what skills is she debuffing in the battle reports each time? Really would be an enormous advantage to us as we play this game to learn, how effective it is or what took place in the battle. These little bits of information that they keep giving us, it allows us a better look at the code that they're developing and how these battles happen. But in the meantime, you can use the naked eye to watch the battles and see what's happening. And the point is, if you watch most missile battles, you'll see McGregor is ridiculous. Like, McGregor is there all day, which is really, to me, one of the reasons Morrison's weapon is hitting the highest hit point hero. Because you can never get McGregor out of there when air is trying to defend against missile. So either it's the front hero strategy, which you end up with, Swift in front, Tesla in front, whatever. Oftentimes not getting hit enough from the front. So therefore, Morrison's weapon would help with that. And it's definitely helping somebody like McGregor that's just a tank. It just sits there and absorbs so much damage. It's incredible. The stronger you can make that guy, it's just an anchor. A lot of people don't even use Adam for missile, to be honest with you. Like, it depends on where you're using Adam, because people have been moving Adam around, using him with tank, the Scarlet Adam combination, which we'll get into. after the season as we do some more testing. But yeah, I love me some McGregor. Okay. Good community. Hope you win. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate you. My 49ers play. They did. They did, Ant. The Bears lost. No shame, I can tell you that. No shame in that, watching that game, man. For the 49ers, who appear to be, could next week could be the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Bears, historically, being a fan for as many years as I have been, those games are typically blowouts on national TV, just embarrassments. The Bears lose by 30. So the fact that everybody was thoroughly entertained watching the Bears play a top team, no shame on this part. By all means, I enjoyed it. Nice skill to have. Thanks for me. You're welcome. You're welcome and welcome in. What happened there? Did it not? Oh. What did it do? Problem is, if you go in and it's full and you get like rejected, you gotta wait until you get outside the mud before you can send it back in. And so a lot of times you see me ping pong. But as you can see, my defense card is still at, now it's 21 minutes. So now you'll see here, or you may look at it and go, hey, why don't you get in the mud? Like, go and get in the mud and get closer so you're not doing as many long marches. Yeah, it's impossible. It's not going to happen because you have too many servers that are against us here. I mean, the power that's even in the mud right now, I'm not going to last 2 seconds. This VIP 18 right here, splash close 17, whatever, would hit me out. There's a few different people. They run rallies. The other servers run rallies on you. So right now, planting flags and keeping the other teams out of the march is just as good defense as trying to be offensive and get in there. And then, by the way, once you go into the mud, you're just like, oh, where you can go. But look at how many people are part of this battle. I mean, this is the scene right here. So, this is what we're dealing with. So if you fail being in the mud and you get ported out and rejected, where are you going to find your spot? Like, I'm here right now. You're going to put me all the way back here. How are those battles going to look? Maybe in here. Like, it's not fun to have to send 50-second marches instead, And that's where the diamonds come into play. And then you start the diamond speeding, and then you start whatever, and then you end up, down 900,000. like me. 800. I'm over 800. I don't know. It's not. I don't know if I've reached 900 yet, but I'm over 800,000 on the season. Good. That's the good news of having somebody like Deerfly in front of me. So I reinforced, and I'm not getting kicked out immediately because Deerfly was in front of me. So it's always good to have 115 million march in front of you while you're defending. You tend to get kicked out a little bit later than when you're right on top and 100 million marches are whacking you. Pretty awesome. I mean, we've had plenty of these close battles. Like just a ton of fun getting in here in these close little battles, and even this one, like 52%. I think our last one is, 52%. I think I think we had like 50 something percent on the other live I did when we did the battle. But I mean, realistic expectations, it's like when you go against so many servers and so many teams, most people would just be wiped out. You wouldn't be able to defend against these teams. You're taking on, 171 in here. They're top and guarding the mud. You don't have the mud advantage here. You don't have the placement advantage. You have multiple teams that are clearing the mud and hitting people. You're going against two servers that are in the bank. You just have to have realistic expectations on what the fight is. If you lose in this game, you can't just get down and be like, oh, you suck, your server sucks, you serve blah blah blah. Like, listen, realistic expectations, folks. I know it's a damn good time. I know that. You play the 4+1 card, or is it better to go 5 missiles, 5 air? No, so I do a 4+1 card with air, second team. It's very good, very strong, proven. I did. I haven't done the 5 with the one I'd like to test that I haven't yet is if Sarah is better with instead of Murphy. Because buffing the additional Morrison battle, but the Morrison exclusive that I have is only at 20 right now. So I'll wait until I get it to 30, and then we'll have to do a bunch of battle tests. So 4+1 is very effective with Murphy. With Missile, I don't find so. Missile is a different animal. If you look at the skills, it's a very unique team that increases off of one another. The missile, your only increase off of the missile squad. So they're really meant to buff one another in the squad. So the more missile you have as part of your team, the stronger they actually are. So with missile, I actually found that it was more effective to have 5 missile than use any 4+1 card. Now some have had luck with using Lucius with a missile squad, which is fine. It does do well with the 4+1. The problem is if you're taking Lucius out of your air, you're crippling your air. So it works if you don't use your air. So if your air is like your third team or a weak second team, you want to lift your first team, then sure. If your missile's like your second team and your air is your third and you want to do something like that, it makes sense. But it doesn't make sense if you're sitting trying to utilize air. In any way, because Lucius is so important to the air squad that by removing Lucius, whatever advantage you're gaining, you're losing by crippling your air. So, that's the other thing you have to look at. When you start moving pieces around in mixed squads, your 3v3 will take this into account for you, and it's a great place to trial and error a lot of that stuff so you can see the difference in what you're doing to your teams. I would encourage you one day have a normal lineup and fight the same people. And then for the second day, mix the squads and look at those same battle reports. Compare them. In Season 4, you replaced Fiona for Lucius because she had no EW. Fiona for... Maybe. Fiona, I was moving Fiona out a bunch before her EW. Fiona, kind of like Morrison. Like, Morrison rode the pine for me for a while. Once Sarah got in... got UR status. Morrison, I ran the battle test over and over again. You see on video, we did it on live a bunch. It just wasn't close. And you'll see like a lot of before the exclusive weapon, there were a ton of people that were just using the Sarah to buff the team. Winter Storm was a great place too, constantly switching that battle up. But early on, yeah, from a missile perspective, before the exclusive, yeah, Fiona's pretty weak. When you can replace with an EW, it's a all different ball game in post season 5 versus before season 5. Anything before season 5, because combining exclusive weapons and able to put 5 exclusive weapons together is just so strong. You know, it can trump what I'm saying, where the missile teams are used to working off one another. So you have to be able to make the advantage if you remove one. You can do that. You can do that if you can replace it with another exclusive weapon, because exclusive weapons are so good and so strong. So it's worth experimenting and moving around. Season 4 it really starts, because that's where the 4+1 card goes. So you start moving things around, you start battle testing, you start looking at the reports and everything else. And that's why I said, perfect example of that. I've moved Lucius around a bunch to see where he fits in, how it works out. And it just cripples my air team. It's just not worth it. Even with 4+1, it's not worth it. I'd rather have Lucius with my air squad. So Carly ends up getting pulled out. Server 705 with 120. I love it there. I love those the stories, the marches. Hey, listen, it's good for the game. For those that want the longevity of Last War, I love hearing the stories of somebody with 120 million march and server 1,200 and 1,300 and whatever. I'm like, good. That means a ton of people are still dumping insane amount of money into the game, and I'll selfishly be able to play it because they continue to support it. So, you know, as I cut down on my spending and not need to continuously spend in the game, I'll know that they're able to support the game and entertainment that I've invested in. That's all I'm going for. Everybody to just continue to enjoy the game to the maximum and support it. Some will do that financially, and some will do it just by playing it. So I love hearing it. Missile main, so I'll go full on Fiona 30. That's what I did. I did Fiona to 30 right off the rip. If missile is your main, I wouldn't reserve any. I wouldn't hold back and worry about Stet and Morrison. You get so many exclusive shards now anyway. After I did Fiona, I was reserving a lot of the exclusive shards because I wanted to make sure I did Morrison to 20. So I didn't know how many could I spend on Fiona, the saved up ones that I had. But I was able to get her to 30. And come on. I was able to get her to 30 and then along the way collect enough to still get Morrison to 20, because it takes so long to get to Morrison's exclusive. So if you're thinking about doing that, you will have plenty of time. There are so many exclusives that you get during this season. Of course, I really need to say this too. It's a little different situation for us during the season and all the things that we got. If you're watching us, I want to brace that to say we got tons of exclusives. You're going to get tons. Don't forget, we played our season around the holidays. So, we had all of these holidays during the season that we had the events and things where we were stocking up on exclusive and different things. It's going to probably be a different experience for you during the season, how many free exclusive weapons you get and stuff. So I also don't want to have you have unrealistic expectations that yours may match ours. because it may be a little bit different. But I will say, in the game generally right now, that was less about the season and more about a general rule. We are seeing more. Let's see if I can take over this bank right now. Yep, boom. Perfect. Yeah, as a general rule, we're just seeing the game give out more free exclusive weapons, which I would seriously, from a low spender, mid spender perspective, I would not be purchasing exclusive weapons, exclusive shards. There's just so many that are pouring in. And you're going to be fine moving forward now because everybody has an exclusive weapon. So I'm sure the game will come out with more exclusive. I mean, the game is meant to make money. So the game will come out with ways to improve the exclusive weapons or come out with the next thing. That's the other thing. Everybody's like, oh, who's going to get the next exclusive weapon? Now everybody got them. Who's to say it needs to be an exclusive weapon? the game could come out with the next Overlord they're going to come out with, but you can have the next weapon thing that's going to come out, you know? That may be the thing that you upgrade for all the different heroes, and we can reboot. And then you'll have an exclusive weapon, and then you'll have, I don't know, you'll have an armored hat that you need to buy, and an armored cape, and who knows what the heck they'll come up with. But as far as exclusive weapons go and exclusive shards, you're going to get plenty. And you'll be able to get all of them taken care of. So you don't need to spend your money to get them to 30. You'll get there just fine eventually. Oh yeah, you're all set, Tears. I mean, 2,400. You need 2,700, 27 something. I forget the exact. 2750 or something like that to get it to 30. So you'll be able to pick those up, no problem. And I know it got overblown earlier in the season about Fiona's weapon, but don't let that discourage you. It's a good weapon. So I would I would push it. Do you have any video explaining the age of oil tree priorities in that? Man, I don't. But I am. We got bogged down a little bit with some of our video series on that stuff as we were trying to get ready for season 5. We just arrived in the server, so we were trying to get a lot of team stuff organized and do around. So I'm gonna get back to the tech series. I certainly will touch on that, and we'll break down more. We did an overview. I have another overview coming out that I want to finish to just talk about some of the other stuff, the tactical and the last end. I will show some resource opportunities that you can have to focus on. So I'll have a video on that as well for everybody. And then, Age of Oil, we'll get into some of the breakdown of the importance of some of the non-valor things to go after, or non-power opportunities. And man, Age of Oil is a phenomenal tree. It's really fun. It's disappointing that the game right now, who am I to, I mean, these developers have got to be overwhelmed with everybody shitting on them left and right. But I really would like them to ignore a lot of this VIP 18 noise and all this stuff. I would like them to focus on more tech-based things for us to do, more improvements. I feel the game has gotten very dry and stale in regards to the upgrades for buildings and tech-based. There's so many avenues they can go down, I feel, especially with tech. They can build, like, if you look at professional avenues, right, where you could be a war leader, you could be an engineer. It would be great if there was a tech tree that you were forced to pick. You can't do both. You have to either pick the avenue of war or you have to pick the avenue of engineer. And that's how you played, that's how you played the game, and that's how you improved your tech tree. It would be great if they did something like that to give us avenues to use for non-valor. I've been out of non-Valor things to do for a long time. And I know a lot of people share that as well. And it's no longer just high spenders and whales that are completing the non-Valor stuff. There are tons of people that are really just pouring in because they have not come out with anything since Age of Oil. So there are really so many opportunities to develop with tech. So I'm hoping that happens. And you know when it's going to happen, by the way? You hear a lot of frustration and nonsense from earlier servers. But when you think about it, earlier servers get all these things first. So we spend the most amount of time completing things and waiting and waiting and waiting. More and more people are starting to play the game or get to the points where we were in Season 4 and Season 3. As they do that, you're going to end up with more people that end up with our attitude, which is like, hey, do more with our tech, do more with this and blah, blah, blah. That's probably when they're going to spend more time worrying about it, when more people care, when it's a higher audience that they can start developing for. They can placate us for long enough to keep doing what we're doing. And they can just keep combining servers. You know, there's no participation problems, as you guys have seen. There's plenty. Is there a participation problem here? Look, this is awesome. This is awesome. I mean, plenty of participation to go around here. Having fun. Multiple servers, and it's all perspective. It's all perspective. But yeah, I love it, man. I will come out with something. Age of Oil, good overall. Yeah, no doubt, Easy. And welcome in, Easy. Welcome in. Yeah, Age of Oil ended up being one of my favorite non-power places. There's so many good things. When Age of Oil first came out, it was almost like overwhelming. How many things there were that were so good. So, good problem to have. Good problem to have. So our percentages here, you could see 76, 27, 5. There's a few different ones here. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 teams just on this alone that are participating in this bank to try to help 4x2 team on 90 out. And then in addition, you see here, there's 171 in the battle. So you'll see a bunch of teams here if you're tuning in and wondering where all these folks are coming from. That's where they're coming from. Oh, time that perfect. I got booted out of my first team got booted at the same exact time as my second team arrived. Every once in a while you get lucky. That's why when you're attacking, you can have both send or keep them around at the same time. Sometimes you get lucky. Nope, not this time. I got my second one in. Yep. Attack. And attack. Oh. Reinforce. Speaking of tech, a lot of people tell you things that you shouldn't waste your time on like March speed is one of those things like don't waste your valor, don't waste your time, don't waste whatever. Well, listen, I think in season 5, you may have a different opinion on March speed because the battles are constant and you have a bunch of these and you've had them before, but it's just usually in prior seasons haven't had anything like this in season 1. And although you get them onesie and twosie a week in the other seasons, this is going to be you're going to have battles sometimes every day. You're going to be able to battle, and you really start to see the difference in where your placement is during the battles over and over and over again when you don't have good placement, how long it takes your marches to go, and your march speed. And it's a big difference when you're getting 5% increase here, 10%, 20%, lifting up march speed and what you're doing. And I mean, what an advantage it is for 90 here to have you have a base here, right here, that's 100 million march that's right next to the bank. So to be able to throw 100 million march in 2 seconds to help you knock people out over and over and over again is incredibly it's incredibly useful, I would say. Oh, crap. Sorry. I gotta reboot. Yeah, unfortunately, the clock is going to expire on us here. So you'll see it be over in a couple minutes, or a matter of 10 seconds, a couple seconds. And that'll be the end. There it is. So they've retained. Again, got to 80, I don't know what that was. 80, what do we get? 87%? Something, whatever. So that was good. Good fun. But that is all. That is all today. So hope you enjoyed the battle. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your Monday. QB18 out.